In the world of politics and technology, some phone calls carry more weight than others. A recent conversation on Friday, June 6, 2025, was one such event. On one end of the line was Elon Musk, the well-known leader of companies like Tesla and SpaceX. On the other end were two very powerful figures from the White House Vice President J.D. Vance and the President's Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. This wasn't just a casual chat. It was a carefully planned discussion aimed at addressing a growing and very public conflict that had captured the internet's attention. The call was a direct effort to find a peaceful solution to a feud that had been escalating rapidly online. The purpose of this important phone call was to discuss the recent and very intense disagreement between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump. Their public arguments had become a major story, filling social media feeds and news reports. The conversation was set up to try and calm the situation down. Vice President Vance and Chief of Staff Wiles were acting as mediators, hoping to bring a sense of reason to the escalating war of words. They wanted to understand Musk's position and encourage a more diplomatic approach, moving the conflict away from public view and towards a private resolution. The stakes were high, as continued fighting could have unpredictable consequences for everyone involved. The call itself was a pivotal moment in this unfolding drama. It represented a direct intervention from the highest levels of the administration to manage a delicate relationship. For Musk, it was a clear signal that his online activities had significant real-world implications, reaching all the way to the White House. For Vance and Wiles, it was a necessary step to protect the president's agenda from unnecessary distractions. The conversation was an attempt to build a bridge over troubled waters, to remind both sides that they had shared interests that were more important than their public disagreements. It was a moment where diplomacy tried to overcome digital conflict. This phone call did not happen in a vacuum, it was part of a larger strategy. The conversation was initiated after Vice President Vance had spoken with President Trump about how to handle the feud. Ahead of a planned media appearance, Vance asked the president for guidance. President Trump's advice was to be diplomatic. This instruction set the stage for the call with Musk, showing that the White House was actively seeking to de-escalate the tension rather than making it worse. The goal was clear: to find a way to quiet the public battle and restore a sense of order to a very valuable, if sometimes difficult, relationship. Before the phone call, the relationship between Elon Musk and President Trump had become very strained. The conflict played out for everyone to see on social media, especially on X, the platform Musk himself owns. Musk had posted several messages that were highly critical of the president. In one instance, he amplified a post that suggested President Trump could be impeached, a very serious political attack. In another controversial post, he brought up connections to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. These were not small disagreements, they were direct challenges that created a lot of anger and media coverage, making the feud a top headline around the world. The tension had been building for some time, creating a very public spectacle. Musk, known for his unfiltered and often impulsive posts, used his massive online platform to voice his criticisms. President Trump, who is also famous for his powerful use of social media and his strong reactions to criticism, was reportedly very upset by the attacks. This created a cycle of conflict, where each comment seemed to invite a stronger response. The feud became a major distraction, pulling focus away from other important political and business matters. Friends and advisors on both sides grew concerned that the public fighting was getting out of control and could cause lasting damage. The importance of the relationship between Musk and Trump made the conflict even more significant. Musk is not just a businessman, he is a major figure in technology, space exploration, and national defense through his company SpaceX. The government, including the Trump administration, relies on his companies for critical projects. A good working relationship is therefore beneficial for both the administration and for Musk's business interests. The public feud put this important partnership at risk, creating uncertainty and concern among officials and investors alike. The personal nature of the attacks made it difficult for them to work together on professional matters. This public disagreement reached a point where it could no longer be ignored by those in power. Senior officials in the Trump administration knew that something had to be done to stop the fighting. The conflict was not just a personal spat, it had the potential to affect government contracts, policy discussions, and the political landscape. The decision to have Vice President Vance and Susie Wiles reach out to Musk directly shows how seriously the White House was taking the situation. They understood that if the feud continued, it could undermine the administration's goals and create an unstable environment for everyone involved. A solution was needed, and fast. The phone call on June 6 had an immediate and visible effect on Elon Musk's behavior online. Following his conversation with Vice President Vance and Susie Wiles, Musk took concrete steps to de-escalate the conflict. He went through his social media feed and deleted some of his most aggressive posts aimed at President Trump. Among the deleted messages were the one related to Jeffrey Epstein and the post where he had agreed with the idea of impeachment. This act of deleting posts was a clear sign that he was backing away from the fight. It was a digital olive branch, showing his willingness to reduce the public tension. Just a few days later, on Wednesday, June 11, 2025, Musk took another step toward making peace. He publicly expressed regret for some of his statements about the president. In a post on his platform X, he admitted that some of his comments had been a mistake. They went too far, he wrote, acknowledging that his criticism had crossed a line. This public apology was a significant move. It showed that he was not only willing to stop the attacks, but also to admit that he had been wrong. This helped to calm the situation even more, as it signaled a genuine desire to repair the relationship and move on from the conflict. Interestingly, sources close to the situation revealed that the de-escalation may have started even before the phone call took place. It seems that both Musk and President Trump had already begun to cool down on their own. One source familiar with the events told CNN that by the time Vance and Wiles spoke with Musk, the worst of the anger had passed. Musk appeared to already be backing off at that point, and the president wasn't as pissed by then as he was the day before, the source explained. This suggests that both men may have independently realized that the feud was not productive and were looking for a way out. The phone call, therefore, can be seen as the final push that solidified the ceasefire. While the anger was already fading, the conversation with Vance and Wiles provided a formal opportunity to end the hostilities. It gave Musk a clear path to retreat gracefully, and it assured the White House that the public attacks would stop. The combination of Musk's own changing perspective and the diplomatic intervention from the administration worked together to bring the conflict to a swift end. The call helped formalize the truce, ensuring that the temporary calm would become a more stable peace, at least for the time being. With the public attacks now stopped, the focus has shifted to repairing the relationship between Elon Musk and President Trump. According to White House officials, there is a real possibility for the two powerful men to mend their fences. These officials have noted that the president's tone toward Musk has softened in recent days. Internally, President Trump has not been as harsh when discussing Musk, which is seen as a positive sign. This change in attitude suggests that the president may be willing to forgive the recent conflict and move forward, recognizing the importance of their alliance for technology and national priorities. The successful de-escalation of this feud is a testament to the quiet diplomacy that often happens behind the scenes. The phone call, first reported by the Wall Street Journal, was a critical piece of this process. It demonstrates how direct communication can resolve conflicts that seem uncontrollable in the public eye. By talking directly with Musk, Vice President Vance and Susie Wiles were able to convey the seriousness of the situation while also offering a path to reconciliation. This approach prevented the feud from spiraling further and causing more significant damage to the relationship between the administration and a key industry leader. This entire episode serves as a powerful reminder of how interconnected the worlds of technology, media, and politics have become. A disagreement that starts on social media can quickly escalate into a matter of national importance, requiring the attention of the highest levels of government. It shows that the actions of influential figures like Elon Musk on platforms like X can have far-reaching consequences. The story of this feud and its resolution highlights the new challenges leaders face in an age where public disputes can erupt in an instant and spread globally in minutes, making diplomacy more complex than ever. In summary, the phone call was a crucial turning point. It helped to end a very public and damaging feud between Elon Musk and President Trump. By encouraging Musk to step back from his attacks and offering a chance for reconciliation, the White House successfully managed a delicate situation. The result is a calmer political environment and the potential for a renewed partnership between two of the country's most influential figures. This matters because a stable relationship between the government and leaders in technology is essential for progress on many fronts, from economic growth to national security. The story shows that even in the age of internet feuds, diplomacy can still prevail.